This is The Rumor Report with Angela Yee.
Now, Demi Lovato sat down with Dr. Phil, and she did an interview where she talked about being suicidal from a very early age, as early as age 7. Here's some of what Demi Lovato had to say, which she feels will help tens of thousands of young people out there.
The very first time that I was suicidal was when I was 7. When I was bullied when I was 12, I turned to drugs and alcohol. At the rate that I was using and drinking, I wasn't going to live a long life. I turned to cutting. Every time I cut, it got deeper and deeper.
Now, she also said there was a time her mom was afraid to wake her up in the mornings because she didn't know if she opened the door if I would be alive or not. And she goes on to talk about being 6 years sober, but she still has an addiction to food that she struggles with. She said, I think the everlasting addiction in my life has been food. My eating disorder started when I was very young. That's something I deal with on a daily basis. It's kind of the last thing to go. She said, I feel I've conquered my addiction and alcoholism where I don't even think about it anymore, but my struggles with food issues are something that I still deal with.
Now, I appreciate her laying all her problems on the table, but what were the solutions? Like, how did she get out of that funk?
Well, she said ultimately she didn't take her own life because she thought of her family and how it would make them feel, and she said she cares about them. And she's been sober for 6 years now, so it's been a struggle, but like she said, she still has the food addiction issue, and she has bipolar disorder, which she's been very open about as well. So she knows all of those things affect her. She knows that she had to deal with these struggles, and that's why she resorted to drugs and drinking, but not doing the drugs, not drinking has helped her a lot.
That's the crazy thing about this industry. It's everything seems like it revolves around liquor and alcohol and drinks and everything like that. So if you're in it to be sober, that's great.
Yeah, and I know it's a difficult thing to do. So we applaud her for sharing her story, because there's a lot of young people dealing with all kinds of issues, disorders, things that we might not even know about.
I wonder if she went to any therapy or anything.
I'm sure she has.
I'd just like to know more of the solutions when people put the problems on the table.
Right. I mean, she talked about cutting herself. She talked about a lot of her struggles, and she really did that sit down with Dr. Phil. You should take a chance to check it out if you have time, because it's a great interview. All right, now let's talk about YoungBoy NBA, YoungBoy Never Broke Again, and Birdman. They're doing an album together. It actually is going to come out tomorrow. It's 9 tracks, and 6 songs feature both of them, and 3 of them only have NBA YoungBoy on that.
I'm not going to lie. I heard it maybe when I was at All-Star, maybe about a month ago. NBA All-Star and Birdman got some joints on it. They got some good joints on there.
Probably because of NBA YoungBoy.
They got some good joints. Hooks and everything. They got some good joints.
Well, NBA YoungBoy still not off the hook from being arrested recently. He was released from jail last week on $75,000 bond. But they have handed down a 2-count indictment for aggravated assault and kidnapping. His girlfriend did not press charges against him for the body slam in the hotel. She said they were just playing around, but they did not believe that on the grand jury. So we'll see what happens with that.
Now, I would like to see a Birdman Manny Fresh project, but that's because I'm old. Okay.
All right, now Cardi B, she's on the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine. I actually bought that magazine when I was in the Bahamas last weekend, just because it's not very often you see Cardi B or somebody like Cardi B on the cover of Cosmopolitan, so I wanted to make sure we support and go out and buy that magazine so they realize power of somebody like Cardi B. But she talks about video vixens in the magazine, and she said, when I was trying to be a vixen, people were like, you want to be on the cover of this magazine? Then they pull their D out. I bet if one of these women stands up and talks about it, people are going to say, so what? You're a hoe. It don't matter. And she also talks about the producers and directors. She says they're publicly voicing their support for these campaigns like Me Too and Time's Up and all of that, but she says they're not woke, they're scared. She also talks about having a #1 song and being happy about that, but she said working for it makes me really happy. She said, I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful, but it's exhausting. I love my career now, but it's like my spirit was happier before. When I was dancing, I had so much fun. I felt powerful in the club. I felt free.
Well, everybody was giving her flack for that statement, but she do got a point. I mean, if you're a stripper or a so-called video vixen, it's a stigma
people
that
don't
comes
care.
with that. Exactly. So
if you're like, oh my God, he tried to do this to me, they're like, okay, but
you're a stripper, right? Yeah, exactly.
You still aren't allowed to do that. She also said people say, why do you always got to say you used to be a stripper? We get it. She said, because y'all don't respect me because of it, and y'all going to respect these strippers from now on.
Why can't you be mad because the person telling you about their life? If she used to be a stripper, that's her life. She can talk about that.
Now, she also posted, my stripper comment had nothing to do with the Me Too movement. What I said about the Me Too movement was there's a lot of video vixens and urban models that get bribed by men, photographers, directors. Like, if you want to be the lead girl in this video or do you want to be in this magazine, you need to do this and that. Most likely something sexual. And when the women speak up, nobody cares, because since they are vixens or models for urban, they are considered a hoe. But these are the same women you love watching and be making these music videos and look great. And they're also the women your man likes to see on magazines. A lot of women out out here always talk about equality and feminism, but you want to have a standard on what you should stand up for. You should stand up and respect all types of women. Lawyers, doctors, video vixens, strippers, stand up for all. You're no better than anybody
She's
else.
absolutely right.
She's right.
And salute to the person at Cosmopolitan magazine that edited all of that made Cardi sound like that. Drop on the clues bombs for him or her. And I also want to say that I don't understand how y'all giving Cardi flack for still rapping about scripting when your favorite rapper's been rapping about selling dope for 15, 20 years. Been rapping about packing guns and shooting people for 15, 20 years, and we know they're not living that life no more.
Right. Well,
Stop
there
it.
you have it.
Knock it off.
All right, so pick up that Cosmopolitan magazine and support Cardi B on the cover. I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report. And
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in